Welcome to Cackling in the Void.
My name's Ashley.
And my name is Kaylee.
Let's see if the void echoes back today.
We're two best friends diving deeper into the void with Iron Flames chapters 37 and 38. Welcome back, guys. We're so excited to be here. This, starting back up with these chapters. We are at the point where they just got into Eratia because they left Basgiath. And this is after all of the cadets find out actually what's going on. So they actually know who the Venin are, what Wyvern are, and where where the revolution is and all of these things. So it's so fun to actually start in these chapters and see the revolution completely integrated into the book now and not be this secret, underground layer of things.
Yeah, and it's also I remember a good beginning of the book, obviously Viola was really secret about it, understandably so, but very secret. So it's nice that it's not a secret anymore and everybody, we can all breathe and
Yeah, and she can actually tell the truth and she's not going to be morally conflicted, even though Kaylee feels like she could have just told her friends from the beginning and they would have been really accepting, but it's whatever.
I think they would not have told anybody and they would have been very accepting.
Absolutely. And I also think the dynamic of the entire book series would have shifted if she would have brought them in sooner.
Yeah.
I kind of think that if she brought them in sooner, we might have had more of a war-filled book.
Instead of a morally conflicted book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason, I think we would have had a little bit of both, but I think we would have more of a war-filled book because I think that they would have been much further along in finding ways to defeat the Venin. The research would have been further. I think they would have gotten the journal sooner. I agree. There would have been a lot of things that they still could have done while they were at school in Basgiath. But I also understand the idea of nobody knows how to shield in the first year. So, the same reason why, Xaden wasn't telling her, even though she was all mad about it. But the main reason he wasn't telling her, very logical in terms of, I'm a leader, I have people to protect, is that you guys can't shield. But also, Violet still knew things before she could shield anyway, so I'm
That's true, and it's, she did have, obviously, Dane to protect from, because Dane's a little asshole. But I love him anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
He was an asshole, but I do love him anyway, because he was just trying to protect her.
No. Just no. It's the I'm you are technically
was trying to protect her.
Yeah, I was you are technically correct that he was trying to protect her. Still in a very toxic way. And I'm also not saying that Xaden's way of protection is any better, because it's also still very toxic.
It's very toxic,
it's just,
and it's
for some reason he seems hotter doing it.
But I do love how in that one interview with Rebecca Yarros, she, was why do you guys give Dane all this, shit and hate, and Xaden's doing the same thing, just in a different way. And you're not giving him that type of shit. I'm that's valid.
Yeah, it's just, he seems hotter doing it, so therefore, general public is it's okay. Now, on to chapter 37, jumping right in.
Well, not really. We're not really jumping right in.
Well, now we're not, because Ashley needs to interject on everything.
I think I'm funny.
I know she does. Chapter 37, we're starting off with Violet having a nightmare about the sage. And the sage is like, I'm going to hunt you till the end of time. Your power is going to be mine. Which is definitely disconcerting and scary. She has been having, obviously, nightmares since Ressin, but this one is definitely more intense because the sage actually talks to her more in this dream.
And she does say, she's like, hey, like, you can only hunt me to the wards. Like, you can't get in. Like, you can't get me. And then, the sage just says, and yet you're sleeping beyond them. So it's like, the sage knows where she is. And a little creepy, if you ask me.
It's really interesting how far the Venon's reach is when it comes to the wards not being there. Like how, like I'm sure that the moment that they stepped outside of the wards, that sage knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Because
and it's really interesting that they can connect to humans that way. Like that they could track a human like that.
Like I don't think they can track all humans. I think that it's just specific.
That's what I mean, like related to humans. Their... Like, yeah. Like how he really did. He's latched on to Violet.
Yeah. It's like he's imprinted on her. But they are in Eratia as she's having this nightmare, and she's kind of waking up and getting up, and she notices, like, to her, like, the walk to the bathroom, basically, that she's, like, finally, like, she's, like, waking up, like, without pain for, like, the first time in a really long time, which is interesting because, before we know that she was, like, heavily beaten and just, like, mangled, basically.
Yeah, and... she's waking up next to Xaden for the first time in a long time, because not even those 5 days they didn't see each other, but they didn't see each other for like a month, because she got sent somewhere, he got sent somewhere, she had war games while he was there, he was on deployment, so like they didn't see each other for like a month or 2 months in between then, and so she looks over and she's like, wow, he's beautiful, he sleeps on his stomach. I'm like, what? That's what it says. He sleeps on his stomach, and his arms are folded under the pillow. His hair is falling over his forehead. His perfectly sculpted lips parted slightly. He's so beautiful.
I mean, you're not wrong. He is so beautiful. But I just thought it was funny the way that you, like, were like, yeah, he's only beautiful because he sleeps on his stomach. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's because he sleeps on his stomach. That's why he's beautiful.
I've never been a stomach sleeper.
Oh, I am a stomach sleeper.
I know you are.
Stomach. Yeah, I can't not sleep on my stomach.
You fall asleep on your stomach, but you kind of turn onto your side and, like, hug whatever's near you.
I am a cuddler.
You go out of your way in your sleep. Oh, God, we're having a sleepover, and you literally... We're sleeping in the same bed, and she comes over, and she's asleep, and I'm like, I sleep on my back, and I wake up to, like, Kaylee scooching herself, and I just feel her, like, wrap her arms around me, and, like, nestle in. I'm like, hi, Kaylee, and then she stole the dog.
Okay, I just want to cuddle. It's fine. It's normal.
And then we cuddle. Left.
It's one of those things where it's like I really subconsciously do it. Like, I'm not awake.
You don't know you're doing it.
It's so not awake.
You woke up disgusted that you were cuddling me.
Yeah, I was like, why am I so close to you? I hate it.
And then you didn't move, and you're just like,
Don't touch me. I hate it. Come closer. Just a little.
Just a little.
Just a little.
And then on the couch, we're, like, laying on each other. It's great.
Yeah. I don't know. I really am, like,
physical
not
touch
like
is great.
Me being like, yeah, if you ever sleep with me, I'll definitely cuddle you at night.
But I do think it's funny how she's like, wow, he sleeps on his stomach. And wow. Like, but she does,
but
like,
also look at his scars on his back.
Like, and I do like how
Guilty.
she is noticing like the small little details of him
Mm-hmm.
because she hasn't seen him in a while. She's like, oh, like his lips part slightly when he's sleeping, and he sleeps on his stomach with his hands up and his hair in his face.
Yeah.
Which, how long do you see this man's hair?
I don't. Okay.
I have an
Either.
answer, and I think it's gonna make you really mad, but I want you to answer first.
Oh,
I think
I
you're
would
gonna laugh
love.
really hard.
I think. I think that he has like medium to short hair, but okay, so I either see this man with locks.
Okay, yes, I agree.
I either I either see this man with locks, like the shorter locks, not like the longer like dread looking locks, but like actual like short like the shorter ones. Um so I guess like maybe like my height, maybe like my length actually, like
Yeah,
if
that's kind of where I see it.
depending on like what it looks like.
Yeah.
But also I can see just because like it's a military sense, like with him having like either like waves or like the shorter like taper on the side with like I don't know some sort of like
Oh, like
design or
that look.
something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I know
You
that
know.
it's at least apparently long enough to fall over his forehead.
Okay.
That's what it
Yeah,
says.
because it's one of those things where it's like I also don't imagine this man with straight hair. Like this man has textured hair. I don't care.
Yes, I agree.
I
No, but
don't
it's
care. It's textured and I imagine that even if that's why I'm like, oh, I think that he would have like locks. If anything.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I imagine like textured hair. But then there's some moments where I'm like, why do I just imagine this man as like a young Snape that's not white? That's like how I see him. And I knew Kaylee would laugh at that. But that's just really, it's how I see him. I see him as a young Snape that's described very like attractively but like not white.
Okay. See, that's so interesting because the way that I picture him, like if he's gonna have like straighter hair, I don't know if anybody watched the Dune Prophecy series on HBO, specifically the series, not the movie.
I've seen the movie. I didn't like the first movie.
Oh,
that's a whole different topic. We can't. I will literally.
Yeah, we are not gonna go into that. But the Prince dude from that series.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Timothy Chalamet.
Fuck
whatever.
no.
I was like, what's his fucking last name?
Yeah, you were right.
Chalamet. Chalamet doesn't sound right.
No, you're correct.
Okay.
Right?
Anyway, again, we started talking. I don't know. It sounds wrong.
Timothy Chalamet is
Chalamet.
Josh Hutcherson. Yeah, look up a photo of him. That's if we were gonna go for more of like a ethnically ambiguous. Still,
what was the last name?
Hutchinson, Hutchinson, Heuston. Like, if we were gonna go for that look, this is what I imagine, not young Snape. This is what I imagine, not young Snape.
I agree with this though.
So we either do like a young version of this or like a young version of Killmonger. When Michael B. Jordan obviously plays him. A younger Michael B. Jordan. That's what I think of.
But I agree with you. But like every once in a while, I'm just like, why can I also see him as a young Snape?
See, that's why I'm like, oh, okay. Like maybe this guy would, because like he have textured hair.
Yep.
Because he
grew
does
out a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, because like this guy like he has like longer, wavier hair.
Yeah.
So he does have some sort of texture in it, but it's not like straight.
Yeah, this
But
is how I imagined it. Yes. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
but
And
I think that guy.
and I knew you would laugh about that. I was like,
I did.
but he gives me the vibe. Like, I just feel like he's very similar in a sense.
I mean, we love young Snape. Once again, nobody could. We
do not agree.
We do not consent about what the author stands for
We
or
do not
anything like that. And also, obviously you shouldn't interact with the IP and blah, blah, blah,
No.
because we shouldn't support that.
No.
I agree. It makes me sad during the holidays, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We just don't watch them. Now we watch other movies. I mean, I do watch horror movies all through Christmas, but that's just anything. Well, because obviously you gotta watch the classics. You gotta watch you gotta watch Gremlins because it's a Christmas movie, and I will fight anybody on that. I do agree with you. I'm just saying the Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
God, I haven't seen Gremlins in years.
And if anybody says anything otherwise, you're wrong, and rewatch that movie. You're wrong, and rewatch the movie because it's a Christmas movie.
Do you have a go-to, like, you need to watch this every year? Gremlins, apparently.
Yeah, obviously.
That's like, okay, that's
one
not
of, like,
a horror movie.
Okay, yeah, that's not a horror movie. I watch the Snow Miser and Heat Miser skit every year.
As you should.
For Christmas. As well as I watch A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I grew up on it. It was like my grandpa's favorite movie before he passed, and we literally have a leg, like my parents have a leg lamp in their house.
Amazing.
Like it's a thing in our family. We really like that movie.
Yeah. That was a big one for my grandpa.
Yeah.
He also really liked the, like, claymation Rudolph one. And so I watched
that one.
Yeah. And I also, there's just a part of me, because my cousins and I during Thanksgiving. So I guess I watch it more during Thanksgiving, which doesn't make sense, but that's okay. We'd always know the Grinch movie.
Oh, okay.
Like the live action Grinch, because we thought it was so bad that we just watched it.
Oh, I mean, first of all,
I love it.
I was like, how dare you say that is a bad movie? That's insane. That's
it's a
crazy.
Great movie.
That's crazy that you're
like, so much
it's
better
so
than
bad.
Cat in the
I was
Hat.
like, no.
It's a good movie. I think it's actually pretty
That's
good.
That's a really good movie.
No, it is. A lot of people hate it. And I'm like, it has such a big place in my heart that it's one of my, I need to watch it every year.
Plot.
It's so good. Is it better than Cat in the Hat? Yes.
I mean, here's
Cat in
the
the Hat
thing.
is a fever dream.
Yeah, but I just don't think that it's fair to even compare them.
No, it's not. Like technically, but you have to, because they're made by the same people, and they're both Dr. Seuss live action movies. You have to compare them because they're made by the same people.
So what, are we now comparing the Lorax to them too?
No, because it's a different company. This is the same company, same people, same owner.
So the reason is just because it's the same company that made it. But also,
like, you similar though. Like, are they not? It's the same. Premise.
They're only
it's bringing his characters into live action. It's the same premise. There's a difference between the.
I love how she's like, it's the same premise only because it's live action. I'm like, it's not the same fucking premise. No. The books of Cat in the Hat and The Grinch are two different storylines. It's not the same premise at all.
I know that, but I'm saying that you can compare them because they're the same idea. Not the books and the storyline, but the same, like.
No, I don't understand when you're like, oh, they're the same idea. I was like, because they're so different.
They're so different. I'm aware of this fact.
You're like,
they're the only two. The Cat in the Hat is the reason they don't make live action Dr. Seuss movies anymore. I think that's really funny. His wife said, never again.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that Dr. Seuss was ever supposed to be like a really big live action thing.
Oh, I don't either. But again,
I thought the Grinch translated a lot better.
I do too. I think that story translated so much
like,
better. Also, why did they make that Cat in the Hat like that?
I think the reason why they decided on Cat in the Hat out of all of his other books is because it's the most recognizable. It's
I'm not saying
most famous.
No. I understand why they chose it. I'm trying to figure out why they made the Cat in the Hat, like the character Cat in the Hat,
Mm.
so
Yeah, I mean,
much.
I know. I could tell you,
Well, I
drugs.
know why. Yeah, obviously.
I
Absolutely, I
was,
know
I was like,
why.
I know why. Do you know why?
Oh,
It's called drugs.
drugs.
Um,
Immediately. I remember
but
watching this back in like high school for the first time. And
it's so odd.
it's so odd.
It's
And I
also
walk
it's
into
also
class.
really odd to think about that like this movie came out in like what 2004,
I don't know.
and Ashley is like, I watched it in high school, and I was like, I watched it when I was like a child, and the reason why you watched it in high school is because you were just born. Like you were. I was like, that's so odd.
But I watched it in high
watched
school because I could have watched it sooner, but I didn't because for some reason I did not. And so I watched it in high school, right? And I remember walking into my acting class baffled. I watched this in class. And I was just baffled. And
They
I
showed
know.
it in class.
Someone was showing like a teacher was showing clips of it and like, don't act like this. And I went, no shit. Anyway,
Mm.
and so then I went and watched the full thing. And I remember walking into class and I was talking with, there's like three of us that kind of hung out. And I was talking with them. And one of the people was like, God, I hate that movie. It's like that one character's like in the tub with Thanos cum. And I went, I'm so sorry. Why did you say that? I was like, that didn't need to be said. But I'm not even going to thank you for that.
You know, I don't.
It's like purple goo, and he was like,
No,
it's Thanos
you don't have to
cum.
describe it. I know what they're. I know what
It was
they're
just
talking
something
about.
I didn't need described that
I,
way.
I was like, you don't need to describe it now, Ashley. I think our listeners and we are good because I think they all know the scene that you're referencing.
Also,
and if
the
they
fact
don't,
that there was like
it's
a
called Google. They
ad
can look it
in
up.
the movie was kind of funny.
I mean, there's product placements in a lot of movies.
Oh,
but
no, I know
Cat
for
in the
sure, but
Hat
the one-
really like sold some of those ads. Like,
Oh, I know. Like the roller coaster one where it's like, go to Universal. Like when they're in
Yeah.
the ride, I'm like, that was funny. That was kind of funny.
I mean, that was like I mean, also like the other reason why the Cat in the Hat was written like that is because the Cat in the Hat character in and of himself, like as a whole, is a hijinks character.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
wanted to translate it into quote unquote the modern times of the early 2000s, and where all of those things were appropriate. Okay, first
Yeah.
of all, when people watch this, when people watch that movie, they need to understand the time period that it came from in terms of like social political climates and where media was. Because there was a lot of things that happened in like the early, like in the 90s and in the early 2000s that now people would have a heart attack. Like they could never re-release the Cat in the Hat movie because they'd be canceled so fast. Like there are certain things where I'm like, oh man, like I love this. Like for instance, I love The Office. It's like not a secret that Kaylee is a big fan of The Office, but there are certain episodes of The Office I'm like, no. People would be so offended if that came out now, and they would get canceled for it. And I'm like,
and it's
okay.
hard because you have to remember the time, like you said, like remember the time period and when this came out.
Mm-hmm.
Does it excuse what's happening? No, but it makes sense, and it's
it's just like
how the world worked in that time period.
Yeah, it's
you
very
can't.
Unfortunate.
Yeah,
but it's also hard.
What I'm learning is we just have to do an episode like debriefing Cat in the Hat.
I mean, yeah, we could definitely do that.
We don't need to.
We don't need to. But
I
we
feel like
definitely
we
could.
have so much to say now.
I mean, because I actually don't think that movie was that bad. And I'm going to be so honest about it.
It was just a fever dream.
And I really think that this is going to be where the generational gap is shown right here in the divide of this movie. Because I really didn't think that it was that bad. Like, yeah, sure. It was like kind of very like fever dream like, but that's what the character was supposed to be.
Yes.
I think they really like hit home what the character was supposed to be. Was it still a bad script? For sure. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm not going to say that it was like the most fantastically written thing in the entire world.
The character.
They got the the premise base of the character correct. I do think that they went a little overboard in modernizing it and trying to make them so relatable. I also think that, you know, it is interesting when you look back at like the certain jokes that were made. Because to be quite honest, Dr. Seuss did not want to be a children's writer.
Mm-mm.
Like, he has openly stated that for a very long time, that he's never wanted to do that, and that he wanted to like have more adult humor like intermixed in his work, but he just realized that it didn't fucking sell, which is totally fine. I get that. And so I think that, yes, even though it was different, I think that maybe this could have been the Cat in the Hat that Dr. Seuss more or less wanted, because he wanted to write a more like adult type of book.
Yeah, but from what I remember, didn't it advertise to kids?
For sure, absolutely, because it's Cat in the Hat, because the book is written for kids.
Yeah,
and I also think that it was more or less it was definitely marketed towards kids. It for sure was.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's like, I mean, I would 100% show like a 12-year-old that movie. That would be so funny. But like little kids, I think they'd just be like, wow, shapes and colors.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of things that I watched as a kid that I did not realize had any undertones like underneath it. Like
every movie's like that now.
Yeah, and
like
it's one of those things like where you like, you know, you go back and you watch like, you know, the Amanda Show and stuff, and you're like, wow, that was crazy. I did not pick that up on that at all. Like, even like rewatching like SpongeBob episodes, like from like season 1, season 2. First of all, season 1, season 2, season 3, best seasons of SpongeBob, and I will fight somebody on that.
I need to watch them. My mom did not let me watch SpongeBob.
But like the undertones for that, and I'm like, damn, I used to watch that all the time as a kid, and I did not pick up on that at all.
I've seen clips, and I was like, yeah.
Like, there's also, like, even, like, tones and, like, Courage the Cowardly Dog that I didn't pick up on either. I was like, that was crazy. I was just like, wow, look at that dog. You know?
Wow, a dog.
Wow, a dog.
Yeah. I get it. That's how I am. So, off, you know, dog.
It's one of those things where it's like, when you're younger and you are a kid, I didn't pick up on those undertones at all, but also, you are correct. Like, should we be sending those messages or those undertones, like, to influence our kids? You know?
Yeah. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah, I was like, that's a whole different topic. And now we've basically been talking for like 35 minutes about something that isn't even the book, and we're only 4 points in. We left off with that Violet is very horny. So, I mean, I think that's a great segue, actually.
Yes. She sees Xaden in bed, and she's very horny. Right. That's a great segue from Cat in the Hat. You're correct.
The great segue between the undertones of child literature to Violet's horny.
Yes, but anyway, so Violet is horny and thinks that her man is very beautiful because he lays on his stomach. And, you know,
I mean, tattoos, scars? Ugh. I don't know. Maybe.
And, you know, he did just tell her for the first time that he loves her. And I mean, I will say that whole like monologue that he does is good. It's good. And, you know, so she's like, he loves me. Like, she's just like so enamored by it, which I mean, it makes sense. That's all she wanted to hear because he never said it. And the way he said it, once again.
And if any person, sorry, I have to backtrack. If any person like confess their love like that, I agree. I think I would be just as horny as she is. Not gonna lie about that. Yeah, just dripping. Really good. Fantastic.
It was
good job, guys. Yeah, I was like, if anybody did that, wow.
Yeah. And, you know, she does like, oh, he risked his life to save me. And she's like, also kind of going over, I'm alive. Like, I made it out. I'm alive. I'm alive. And she's like, that's how I want to feel. Like, she wants to feel alive. And because she's felt trapped for the past, how long? Because she's had to keep all these secrets and everything, too. Like, mentally trapped. And now she's both physically and mentally trapped. Or untrapped.
Yeah.
Free. You know.
Yes.
Yep. Untrapped. Also known as free.
Mm-hmm.
And
correct.
she, you know, Xaden wakes up and, you know, they're like, good morning. How'd you sleep? And like the kind of casual small talk. And he's like, I could get used to waking up like this. And, you know, she's like, oh, you know, like, she's expecting that she's going to be put with the other cadets because that's how it is at Basgiath. And he's like, this is my house. You're not fucking moving. Like, this is my room. And you're here.
Yeah. It's also like, this is the revolution and I'm the leader. So I get to do whatever I want. And so if I want you to stay in my room, you can stay in my room. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, Xaden. You tell her.
Yeah. And, you know, like we said, now they're both horny. And, you know, they are kind of like, I mean, they're not really even kissing at this point. Like, they're barely kissing. And he's like, and she's like, come on, let's like do this. You know, it's been a while. And he's like, you're not mended enough for me to do the things I want to do to you. You're taking over this segment now. Goodbye.
Yes, that is correct. Also, if any man, break me in half, God. I mean, that's how she feels too, so it's fine. It's
the
just
asexual over here, like doo.
There's just like certain things where you're like, that was very sweet to say. I mean, I really don't have a lot of notes on this because I unfortunately was not very thorough with my notes, so I'm very sorry, guys.
And I don't really write notes for these scenes.
No, she doesn't.
I've gotten a lot better at note taking. I'm just not.
She
as
has.
good.
She's gotten so much better.
It's so different for me, like listening to it than like writing notes about it. I'm like,
yeah,
it just
because it's not necessarily writing notes about. It's not about them, like having sex. It's not like notes about that. It's just like notes about like what they say to each other.
Yeah.
You know,
I could do that. I'm not gonna write notes about what's happening.
Okay, yeah.
You could do that.
But you know, they actually finally have sex for the first time in, you know, like Ashley said, like months, because the last time they had sex was when he was at the outpost in the shower.
I say, was that a shower?
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's when the last time that they had sex, because that was the last time they actually saw each other in person.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the last time that they did have sex. And also, like, this is the first time that they're like having sex after he said that he loved her. And
yeah.
I'm like, I will admit, I think that the dynamic of like the dynamic changes after you tell somebody that you love them.
Yes.
I'm sure Ashley can attest to that.
Yes.
You know, as an asexual, you know.
Yes.
Like the context changes. Things change. And obviously a lot more like heavy emotions are like going on into it. And, you know, I liked how they both take care of each other. They're both very aware of each other, and they're respectful of like what each other like wants and needs and things like that.
Yeah, and
but
you know,
for the most part, this is a very quick scene for them.
It is a very quick scene, and I know that the line that that Kaylee really likes too is, you know, he's like, "No, I want everybody to hear." And she's like, "Shh." Like, she doesn't,
Oh,
because
that's right.
she's
Yeah.
like, "You need to be quiet." And he's like, "I want everybody to hear that you're mine." And then
I love it. First of all, the fact that she was like, "Oh, I need to be quieter." And he's like, "No. I literally like I want that." And she was like, "No, I need to." And he's like, "No, you don't." I liked it. I was like, yeah, if anybody was like, "No, you don't need to be quiet and I want you to be louder," so that they could all know that you're mine. I'm like, I don't know. That did something to me. I was like, "Oh, okay." Ooh.
and after the fact, she's like, "Okay, like, can you make sure you ward the room, please, so
Mhm.
like no one can hear?" And he's like,
It's already
"It was already
done.
done, man." And that was
Like,
funny. I do like that.
I also just think that it's funny that she even thought that the room wasn't warded. Like that
Yeah.
she was like, "He hasn't had time to do it." And I'm like, I'm pretty sure
He could
that
do it
bitch.
during it. Like,
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that Zayden had that room warded like up the wazoo from the very first time that she was brought there at the beginning of the book when she was poisoned.
I agree
Like
with that.
I think that room has been warded for forever. I don't think that it just got done now.
Yeah.
Like
Because he would have warded it for, like you said, like for her
yeah.
protection back then. Because, I mean,
Mhm.
he's probably scared shitless, as we see in his
Yeah.
point of view earlier, but
Mhm.
scared shitless of what if someone comes and
Exactly.
like steals her or kills her or something.
Yeah. And so, after they're done, um we kind of shift into more of a back to like the school like setting. Like Ree is coming up and being like, "What are we doing? Where are we going?
Yeah, like,
Like,
what is
how are
happening?
we
And there's
being
cadets
grouped?"
everywhere. Like, no
Yeah.
one knows what's happening. And
Mhm.
so they're just like, what the fuck is happening? I am confused.
Yeah, and so they end up like calling basically like a pseudo formation to like get a head count of everybody and
hmm
to see what's going on. And we do find out um that they were able to, they send Ree to basically call formation, and then Zayden and Violet end up going into the council meeting before meeting really with all of the cadets, um, just to go over basically what's happening. And the council members are furious that Zayden and Violet brought all these cadets. They're like, "We don't have enough room. We don't
But
have
it's
enough
mainly mad
supplies."
at Violet. Like, they're not really
You
blaming Xaden for this.
Absolutely. It's the Violet did this. Why is she being like so she's basically no, I'm not gonna lie about it. They do have some merit to be upset because she threw off the entire plan. Because they had
hmm
a plan. She just chose to do whatever the fuck she felt like. I'm well like about like the research and everything, and
Yeah,
like here's the thing
I
is
agree with
like,
that.
do we think that she would have been captured when she got captured if she didn't go after those journals?
That's true.
And we know that they started doing it because they obviously knew that the ward was breached.
hmm
And so it's like the if she didn't if Violet kept to the plan and didn't do, her extracurricular research and things like that, which I will admit is valid research. I think that it's important to do that. But I don't think that this would have happened like this if she would have stuck to the original plan.
I agree with that.
So I think that they have a right to be upset that literally the plan that they've made and carefully curated for years got destroyed in a matter of 2 months because of this girl.
Yeah. Like, and it's also like
Yeah.
not even just the research of like bringing everybody with her. And they do make it a
Mm-hmm.
point where they're like, hey, like, we're a target now. Like, we're not
Yeah.
hidden. There's so many people. There's
Mm-hmm.
dragons. There's people. There's so many things. Like, yes, Melgren can't see
Mm-hmm.
because of his foresight thingy, but because there's so many marked ones together, he can't see them. And they can't
Yeah.
find their location. But it is interesting because they're right. Like, it is, if you see that many dragons and people, you're going to be like, what the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm. It's just interesting. Like, I think they have every right to be mad. But Xaden does say, why are you guys mad? You told me to bring numbers, and I brought numbers, and now you're complaining about those numbers.
And which, are they very well trained numbers? No, but he did bring numbers. Like, he's not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, and that was one of the points, too, that they were like, so you brought us untrained cadets as numbers. That's so fantastic, you know?
Yeah. And granted, do I think, let's say they went into battle, I'm pretty sure their dragons would say, hang on, we're just going to do it. Like, let kind of the dragons go. Also, have we seen these dragons breathe fire?
The cadets?
The dragons. The cadets don't breathe fire.
Well, no, like the cadets dragons, or like Terran or Sigale, or
All the dragons.
Yeah.
I guess what's his face breathes fire.
Yeah, Terran does multiple times.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
So does Sigale.
You're right.
What, are you trying to say that they don't breathe fire now? Like, that's their big secret?
No, I just feel like we haven't seen them really breathe fire much. But I guess they do.
It's not part of the training, because the dragons can already do that. It's like the training is for the cadets.
Oh, I mean, 100%. And that's why I'm like, I feel
we
like
also
if they
see dragons a lot, like, breathe fire a lot during threshing and stuff.
You're right. But my point was going to be like, hey, like, I feel like during war, like, let's say they went to battle the next day, the dragons would kind of be like, do what you can with your signet, but hang on, we're just kind of going to go, like, torch everything.
I mean, I feel like that's somewhat what they do. They're just more strategic because, they still have infantry on the ground. Like, they still have, like, allies around. So I'm sure that
they're more strategic. But for, like, the first years that just spawned a dragon, it would be, like, stay back. Like, we're getting orders from other dragons. Like, don't get in our way because you're an untrained cadet.
I mean, Xaden says it, like, later on, like, when he's in front of the cadets, because it's either Xaden or Kaori that says it, but they're like, oh, we're ready to fight. The Dark Wielders just, like, go ahead and throw us in, and they say, oh, we don't send cadets to die. Yeah. So I think, like, that's a big thing, is that a lot of cadets are willing to jump into battle. They just don't know how to win, basically. Yeah, and they don't know what they're fighting and how to win, and I think that it's very... You can already tell the difference, the way that the Revolution treats them comparatively to the way that Bezgaia was treating them in terms of sacrificing people.
I was going to say, and also, the cadets weren't trained to fight Venom and Wyvern. Like, they don't know, they just found out about it. Like, back at Bezgaia, they were trained to fight Griffins and stuff like that, not Venom, and it's a very different fighting style.
Absolutely.
And they do stay, like, I know Devera does say, she's like, oh, come back to me when you could wield lightning, and then you can go fight. Like, she's like, we sent her out, and that wasn't her choice. We didn't openly send her to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
They didn't purposely do that, If they were going to do that, I do think that they would have given her a lot more training. Xaden kind of just, like, shuts the whole council meeting down and is like, well, guess what? This is my house, and these are all my guests, and I can do whatever I want in my own fucking house, and you're not going to say shit about it because it's my house. And I'm like, yeah, so valid, sir. You are technically the leader of the revolution, and not only that, this is actually your house. Like, legitimately, this is your house. So, we're all just living in it.
Literally, like, and it must be a ginormous house, but
I mean, it's a castle.
Yeah,
like he has a like.
Absolutely.
I was like, I mean, this man has, like, a castle. Like, he has, like, a fortress castle. Like,
yeah.
This man has a whole country. So, like,
that is
I'm
true.
pretty sure it's pretty big.
Yeah.
And so.
And they do say that Dane is locked away in a room until they could prove his loyalty, which is
that's right.
That is valid. I mean, as much as, valid. Again, I love him, he did betray the revolution by giving information to his father. But I did really like how when he was fighting, what's his face? Varish. And how she's like, "Oh, your father's gonna be so disappointed in you," and how he was like, "Well, if he knew all of this, I'm more disappointed in him."
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things where it is interesting to see Dane's
I'd say
change.
the development.
Um, I agree with them. He should be, you know, separated until he can be trusted, until like more lines of
Absolutely.
questioning happen. But no spoilers, but we all know how that goes because of Violet, because she's a little bitch, but it's whatever.
Yeah. And
Um,
they're all like, "Oh, like what about Mira?" and kind of start talking about her
mhm.
sibling. And Violet's like, "I will literally stab your other eyeball out. Like, don't touch her."
Yeah, don't go near my siblings. I will hurt you, which is so valid because, a lot of people are like, oh, like, now there are so many more people to put this in jeopardy.
Mhm.
And not only that, a lot of big players are now brought in and brought onto the board that were not supposed to be on the board for a very long time.
Yeah. Like this,
So,
it really went from, "Oh, we're going to do this in 6 months," of, "Oh, now we have everything now." And now we're
yeah.
scrambling to make sure everybody has, and they
Mm.
are. They do state like everybody's housed, fed, clean, and washed. They have clothes. And everybody's, content and happy in that sense, but they have so much more.
And you know, obviously Zayden is like, oh, I'll take full responsibility. I already have. And he shows his scar that he has now from like his like collarbone down, like from his like neck, like all the way down through his collarbone, like onto his arm. And she's like, oh my God, not just like the scars for like the marked ones. So Violet finally sees the fact that Zayden has a scar for her, and she's very, obviously distraught. It's Violet. She's like, "Oh my God, scars."
And how
Um,
dare you take it for me? Like, but also she's like, I feel like she's having such mixed emotions because she's like, "Oh my God, he did that for me. Like, he really loves me. He did all this." But then she's like, "Ugh, how dare he do this for me? Like, I'm my own person," which you are. Like,
so
but
valid, girl.
it is,
So
I do have
valid.
mixed opinions about it because I'm like, she is her own person. Like, you don't need to,
Yeah.
but I also understand his point of view, I guess.
It's one of those things where, like, I understand where she's coming from. Yes, she is her own person, and yes, she can protect herself. But I honestly think it's kind of odd for me because I feel like the scar thing, it's a cultural thing.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
it is. It is. And even when talking about the scars for the marked ones, like, her mom tried to tell her that it was what are they called? They're not called
Tradition?
orations. They're called something else.
Like oh god. La lacerations.
No, that I'm not trying to call them lacerations. Yeah, they are
Oh,
scars. I'm trying to say what are like the people like what like is the culture called, because they're not called orations.
no. Tier and door. Tierish?
Yeah, it's a tierish. It's part of the tierish customs, which
Yeah.
her mom did try to tell her why she gave the scars, because it is a
Mhm.
tierish custom. And so
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, I understand oh, he shouldn't need to protect me, but also it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, for me, I'm like, I don't really mind that he did it, because once again, I look at it strictly as a cultural thing, not
Yeah.
as I'm claiming her as my own.
It's a cultural thing.
Yes, in culturally, that's like signifying like I have full responsibility and I'm willing to die for this person. Like, if this person messes up, you can take my head. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
But culturally, I think that it's extremely appropriate because, you know, because once again, it's a cultural thing. Which is
Yeah.
why I think the scars, even him taking on the scars for the marked ones, was a cultural thing.
Yeah.
So I think that there are certain things that she needs to let go and maybe understand a little bit more. I know that she has a lot of book smarts and she reads a lot of history, but also sometimes I don't think that she thinks about it
Socially.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
the wow, you're so smart, but yet so
so
dumb.
dumb. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I know that we've talked about it briefly, but it's obviously these books are in Violet's POV. And
Yeah.
so it makes why, like, she's a bit confused, so that's why we're confused. And
Mm-hmm.
we, I mean, I know that we have our opinions about Violet, but like we side with Violet more because we're seeing her POV. That's what she knows, and that's what we
Mm-hmm.
know. And so we're more
Absolutely.
naturally going to gravitate to her. Oh no, that makes sense. It
Mm-hmm.
makes sense on why she's thinking that way. It's we vote for her, and I know we've talked about it. She's a pretty okay female protagonist.
Yeah. She is.
She's solid. Like
She
I do
is.
like her, and there are moments where I'm
Yeah.
like, "Ma'am, I want to slap you," but that's just you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
And you're figuring out your own life in a whole like you weren't meant to be in the situation and now you are and it's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like her and
Yeah.
I like seeing her struggle through that.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, and I do
I
think
do.
that she does a good job, but I understand the turmoil that she's feeling about it, but also at the same time, it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree. And then she, they're there and all of a sudden she feels like kind of gold wrapping around her mind and
mhm.
again and she kind of like is like, "Oh, wait, what is this?" And then Andarna says hello and like, Violet?" And she like almost falls over cuz now
Yeah.
Andarna's awake and
Yeah,
I've
which
missed her.
I love to see her back in the book. We love
It's been a hot
Indarna.
second.
It has been. She has been in her, dreamless sleep. But I love how that's the way that the chapter ends. Is Indarna's
Mhm.
awake and the chapter ends there, and now
I
that
also do
launches
love
us
how it
into
showed how overwhelming it was for Violet. Like it was like,
yeah.
oh my god, like her
Mhm.
body. Like I do think it was a lot of relief flooding her system, but I do
Mhm.
think it was that like magic kind of coming back into her, and it's kind of like a whoa, like hold on, let me like
Yeah, that
brace myself, and like she
readjustment.
does almost fall over.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
I
that's where
mean,
that chapter ends, like you said.
yeah, which I mean, I think is like a great way to end that chapter, especially because it is such a relief. We're seeing
Hmm.
so many things come into fruition that we've been waiting to see since the beginning of the book. For instance, the revolution coming more into the light and becoming more of the main focus. We're seeing Andarna wake up again. We're seeing the big bad villains like mostly defeated and where their character arcs are going.
Yeah,
So
and so it's fun, and then we get into the next chapter, and she's down in the in quotes veil. Like there's no real, not a real veil
yeah.
here, but where they're kind of keeping the dragons and stuff. And she's napping again, and Taryn's like she woke up an hour ago, and Violet's looking at her, and she's like, wow, like she's so pretty. Like her scales are so iridescent and young. Like oh, like it must be a young dragon thing. Like she's so
Mhm.
pretty. Like she does say it over, like wow, like she's so unique, like and so pretty.
Mhm.
She has a scorpion dragon tail.
Mhm. A scorpion tail, you're correct.
Thank you. And she's grown. Like she's a lot bigger. She's about 2/3 the size of Sigale now.
Mhm.
And I remember Violet just kind of going like, "Wow, how interesting!" Like she's so big, and
Mhm.
acknowledging like she's not my little dragon anymore.
Yeah, she grow
Uh,
up.
and and she wakes up very hangry, which is so valid of her. I would also be
Valid.
so angry, and she's just like hungry,
Mhm.
and And she does get excited to see Violet, and she's kind of jumping around. And Terrence's like, "Can you not crush our human?"
She's like, I'm just excited to see her. God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then she starts getting like, a little snappy, and Sigale's like, "Let's go get food."
Mhm.
Like Terrence's like, "Can you take the child away, please? I don't need her near me. I'm 100 years old. This is too much." And he really is a girl dad. It's kind of fun to see.
I love it though
I love it
because I
so
feel
much.
like that's
The memes, though. Have you seen the one
yeah.
where it's the stroller of like him underneath and then on
Mhm.
top?
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
funny.
It's so great. And she, Violet stays behind and is talking with Tara, and he's like, "Hey, I need to let you know that, like, because she woke up and her dreamless sleep was so interrupted that
And it
she
was so
won't,
long.
and it was so long, her second set of wings her second set of muscles in her wings did not grow. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, because Adarna tried to, like, open her wings and she stumbled. Like, she couldn't physically fully open her wing. And, oh, I do think that's sad. And Taryn's like, she'll be able to fly. She could do it. She's going to strengthen the muscles in her
Mm-hmm.
flappy
Wing.
thing. Thank you. And she will be able to fly, but she'll never bear a rider. And Violet is distraught. Like, she's just so sad. She's like, no, like, because I mean, she does hold Andarna so close. Like, that is her kid, kind of.
Absolutely, because everybody holds each other close, especially like in that type of realm. Like in terms of course you would. It's
Yeah.
like getting a puppy. It's like getting a puppy and then them. It's like getting a puppy and then breaking their legs when they're like 6 months old, and then
Ugh.
the puppy, unfortunately, like the dog is going to live with a limp for the rest of its life. The dog's never going to be able to run as fast as it probably could have. Like there's just so many factors. So yeah, I understand why she's sad and upset that she might never be able to bear a rider, you know.
Yeah. And, they kind of talk about that for a bit. And then, kind of, and then she does mention, she's like, do you know anything about Iron Rain? Because she's been translating all of this
Hmm.
old Tirish and all of these things, and she's like, Yesenia's coming up with it too. There's just Iron Rain. What the fuck is Iron Rain? Do you know what that is? And he's like, no.
Which is so interesting that not even like Tara knows, and he's been around for a while. Yeah, he wasn't there like when the wards were formed, things like that. But it's just interesting that not even the dragons know, or that the
Yeah.
dragons are able to tell her yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
And, they kind of are looking around and they rebuilt the theater, which won very quickly. Good for them. They
Mhm.
rebuilt the theater so they could have like a makeshift battle brief.
Mhm.
And I do love how it starts of, we're not hiding the truth here. You are going to learn what it's actually like on the outside. I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
go off. Go to Vera. And they do talk about how Kaori actually stayed behind. And so they don't have like someone to help like with the dragons and stuff right now.
Mhm.
And she's like, we're going to learn about the Venom and we're going to learn about what's actually going on at the border cities. And also, this is your first brief. This is your first battle brief as traitors, and you better get used to that word because that is what you are. And I went, oof, so
Yeah.
good. I really love, because it is so, like, that's how she started. It is, you are
Yeah.
traitors, and that is, like, you are known to the crown as a traitor. And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, so good. And I love that Devera is willing to do that. Like, nope, this is how we're starting it. This is what you are. Get used to it. You're gonna hear it. This is no longer a soft battle brief. Not that battle brief
Mhm.
was soft before, but the pillows are taken off. The safety guard is off. You are a traitor. There are venom. This is what's going on.
Yeah, because this is unfiltered battle brief, where before
Yes.
battle brief was filtered. Most
Yeah.
of most of the battle brief that they were getting was propaganda. Let's call it like
Mm-hmm.
it is. And she says it, It's like, this is no longer propaganda. This is the truth. We're not sugarcoating things anymore. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
And
It's like we're
it's
not reading the newspaper anymore. We're
me
reading the books and the facts and the
exactly. Exactly.
okay.
And not only that is like they openly say we're going to start training your signants a lot more because it magic works differently
Yeah. Because
as
they're
the
beyond the
wards.
wards. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And not
So
only
different.
that is like when they were training, they didn't really train their signants all that much. They were more or less training their bodies to be able to like do combat fighting. They
Yeah.
hadn't
And I'm
really got
guessing
into
that they
signet training yet.
Yeah, and I do think that, like, obviously the combat, like, on the mats and stuff does help with the signets because you have
Mm-hmm.
to have a strong body, I'm guessing, to wield.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you, I've never wielded anything like that, but I feel like you'd have to have a
No.
pretty strong body to do that.
Yeah. Which I mean is understandable. Also,
And, like, they're not doing the mats here.
yeah, they're not doing the mats. They're just doing signet training. They're doing a lot of mountain climbing and things like that. they were actually able to like send letters to their families informing them, like especially if they lived on the border, like leave the border cities. This is they didn't give their location away, but they were like, if you go here, this could be a safe place.
Yeah.
They're
And
also
they're
like,
rescuing as much as they can.
yeah, and they're also like trying to really make room for people's families here in Eurasia.
Mhm.
Like they're trying to like build up their outer cities and make sure that they have enough supplies so that they can start taking in refugees. And like we know that that's a plan that they're really thinking of bringing to the forefront because of all of the cadets here,
Yeah.
which is completely understandable. It's also interesting, going into like the way that they're training now is, they're not doing mats, they're doing mostly signet trainings, but now they're doing a lot of like running up and down the mountains.
Yeah,
And
because
like one of the
Cemetery is like
things,
you need to get used to the altitude. Like the altitude is
yeah,
different. And
mm-hmm,
Violet's like, this fucking sucks. This is the
yeah.
worst. I'd rather be on the mat.
I love that they utilize the altitude training in their advantage, especially while they have them all here. I think like it's a great use of their time because altitude really does change a lot of things. If you're flying on the back of a dragon, that altitude is going to be different, if not more. So, doing the altitude training while you're on the ground, while you still can, is, I think, amazing.
Yeah, and also the dragons are because the altitude of like the mountains and where they are is
Hmm.
higher, the dragons have to fly higher. And
Yeah.
so like it's just so different. And they also kind of going back to how Devera was like, "Oh, like you're traitors." After she said that, she's like, "But I'm personally very proud of each and every one of you because it is
Hmm.
so hard to leave everything you know and love behind for a cause you barely know anything about."
Absolutely. And I think that that is something to be commended, like them, as well as we find out that Fourth Wing is the only squad that came fully intact. All of their members came, so they get to stay together as a wing, which is, I think, very wholesome to hear
Yeah,
that
and
they
we love it.
that they all like came together. But it's also great to hear that even 1 through 3, a lot of people still came,
Mhm.
even throughout the squads. And they're kind of like thinking about like how are we going to now reconfigure squads and things like that, and they're looking for people to like step up. And they openly ask Brennan, whose last name is changed for confidentiality, basically, but his last name
Yeah.
has been changed for a really long time,
Like
so a lot
no
of the
one it even
students.
says like no one
Yeah.
knows who that this is my brother. Only her squad, Zayden, and like the marked ones know that
Yeah, and certain
This is
marked ones,
Venom.
not all marked ones,
This is
but
Brennan.
certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the squad, like the close knit that
Yeah.
she all know that that's
And
Brennan, but
Ulrich.
Auric, yep,
Yeah,
and
and he
Emery.
knows because he obviously
It's
has
it's
seen
Auric.
him, yeah,
And
before.
so it's interesting because no one and also this generation because I remember we did the math and I don't know how we figured it out, but he's 10 years older than Violet. And
Yes, he
so
is.
this generation that she's in wouldn't know Brennan because he
Yeah.
died 6 years ago. And
Hmm.
so like they wouldn't know because they didn't really see him. Like if he was
Yeah.
out in the field, they would probably know, like if for longer, but he wasn't. And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
not everybody knows that this is
Yeah.
him and they want to keep it that way. They want to keep
Hmm.
it a secret. They don't need everybody to know. They're like, we've shared enough. We are done.
Yeah. And they are like looking for Brennan to like kind of like break them up into squads, and he's very much like, I mean, you guys can do that. You
You're like, I've
guys.
been out of this for so long, you guys.
Yeah, and you guys know each other the most. You guys know who's going to work together. I trust you guys to do that, and I hope that you guys step up. And if you can't, then get the fuck out, basically. Like
Yeah.
if you can't step up, and if you guys can't sort your guys yourselves out, then this is not the place for you guys to be.
Yep.
That means that you guys don't know yourselves enough, that you're not going to work well in a squad. And so kind of like the way that they said that And then,
And they also do say that, like, they noticed that Melgren hasn't told the public that they
yeah.
left.
Hmm.
It is a secret. He is warping everything so no one finds out, and only the military knows. Which is so
Yeah.
how did people not see dragons? It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And it is interesting because, they are like, once they do divide up, they're like, well, we're ready to, like, jump in and fight. And then they start doing their training and things like that. They also kind of, Violet, is now really contemplating. She's actually finally considering that the fact that maybe getting the luminary is a good portion of the plan.
I mean, she's been
Um,
wanting to get it for a while. It's Xaden that was like, "No, like, I'm not
yeah,
sacrificing you," because if we remember back,
yeah, the
The
trade-off is,
Viscount or whatever, he wants to see her wield. Xaden was openly like, "I know this guy, like, he's gonna see you and he likes
mhm,
treasures and he's gonna wanna keep you to himself." And Violet has it saying like, "Hey, like, I can do this, like, it's okay, I can do things, like, you can let me go. If this
mhm,
luminary is something that we need, I wanna help the cause. I am finally here,
absolutely.
able to help, let me do it." But she is planning to do it behind his back. Like, she's like,
Always. Because,
she's not
I
gonna
mean,
tell
she
him.
does everything behind his back. I'm not gonna lie about it. You're looking at me like I'm wrong, but like
I
this,
was
she's
thinking, I was
just
like,
like, no, she literally does almost everything without him because they they don't agree and they don't communicate well enough to agree on things, which is bad,
"Ugh,
which is like a
yeah,
really bad part of their relationship.
it is."
And they only
And
talk
it
during
really
sex.
you're not
They
wrong.
do.
You're not
I
wrong.
was like, that's crazy. That was a very true statement.
It was a very true statement. And
Um, but yeah, she even asks Taryn, like, oh, do you think you could carry a luminary? And I love his thing. The question is insulting to think that I cannot carry that luminary. And I was like, I agree.
yeah.
The question is insulting, Taryn.
Yeah, and I know this is gonna be a really dumb question. What the fuck is a luminary?
It's like a forge.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. I feel dumb and I
Yeah.
don't know
It's
what that
it's
is.
I think they call it a luminary because if I had to be like a, because what I think it is I think that it uses a special type of light to forge the weapons
Yeah.
that make magical weapons, because they take the like the magical stone stuff, you know. And then also,
Yeah.
like, they use the luminary to imbue it as well.
Yeah.
So it's like
So it's
not only is it
interesting.
forging it, it's also imbuing it as it's being forged.
Yeah.
So that's why I would assume that it's like a forged like
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And
But
it has to
she
be
wants
very
to get it.
specific and yeah. Because like that was the original plan, is for them to get the luminary so that they can supply weapons to not only the griffins but also for their own armies and sake like that. And now we're at the part where, Violet is going over thinking that she might, go get this luminary without him, and then all of a sudden like an alarm goes off and they are informed that a riot of dragon are coming,
Yep.
and that it's led by Tiny, who we know is Mira's dragon. And obviously they're all rushing. They're also getting ready to
Fight.
attack. And yeah, I was like, to
Because
fight.
it's a
They're
big riot. Like, a
yeah.
big riot is coming. And Violet is, like, saying, like, don't touch my sister. Like, she's
Yeah,
mine. Let me handle her.
she's saying, wait, don't fire, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. And we see, and Mira's like comes in and she's like, don't, obviously don't shoot, we're here peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like kind of falls into Violet's arms and is like, I'm so sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I didn't
And
trust you. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I'm sorry that I wasn't listening to you when you needed me.
hmm,
And she was like, I didn't know until that wyvern was dropped at Samara. I didn't
yeah.
know. And, Violet's like, what happened? Why are you even here? Like, how did you know? And then I guess, Mira says that, her mom came and told everybody and gave them an option to leave.
Yeah.
They had an
They had
hour
an
to
hour.
leave. So this, like, that they went to the outpost, they told the truth, and they said, you have an hour to leave or you have an hour to stay, and you better decide, because after that hour, if you're trying to leave after that hour, you will be, tried and killed as a traitor. And so
But she gave them the option, which I do appreciate.
Yeah,
And
which
Mira
is
even
so
says, like,
interesting.
she told us everything. She told us the truth, and we are here to help. And I agree, it is really, really, really interesting.
It's very interesting, and the fact that she made the choice to come, I think, is just so strong and powerful, and really just shows where the kids stand. Like the Sorengale, the Sorengale, yeah, the Sorengale, where those kids stand, even though their parents stood on a very specific side, to protect them, but also, we can see what is right and what is wrong. And, she's embracing Violet, and all of a sudden she, sees this man who she hasn't seen in 10 years. And
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. There it is. And, Violet, like, stops hugging Mira, and, like, Violet's, like, almost, like, tearing up, like, oh my gosh, like, now Mira can feel the feeling of relief and happiness and excitement to see Brennan. And
she's also like,
Mira,
this is the first time in 6 years that all the Sorengale siblings have been together.
Are
which
together.
Is wild. Like, that isn't an overwhelming feeling.
It is. It's such an overwhelming feeling, and especially because Violet knew for so long and has wanted to tell Mira, but couldn't. And she's like, she stops hugging her, like, thinking like this beautiful moment's gonna happen, and Mira
and Brennan's
just
like,
goes,
hi, Mira.
yeah, and Brennan's like, hey, I'm so glad that you're here, like, with us, and now we're together. And she just goes up and punches him in the face so hard, and I'm like, that's right. I agree, because the only appropriate answer was to punch him in the face, because how fucking dare he? And that's where the chapter ends. We don't even get, like, her, like, actual reaction or anything. It just ends with her punching him in the face.
Which, and again, so valid.
It's so valid. And
it's also, like, I would be so angry. Like, that is...
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I would be. And we also know that the age gap is...
less.
And
they were the closer ones.
Yeah.
Like, kind of, not Mira. Violet was kind of with their dad down studying, whereas Mira and Brennan were the kind of the two that... Because if we did our math correctly, Brennan is 10 years apart.
From Violet. But I think...
Mira's, like, 3 years apart from him or something. Like, very...
No.
4 years, maybe?
Because... She would have to be 4 to 5 years younger than Brennan, because they were not in school together, and we know that it takes 4 years to go through writing quadrant.
3 years.
Is it 3?
And so Brennan
so it takes
was in it for 3 years.
Yeah. So
and then
they were not done at the same time. He died. She went in.
Yeah. So she's about 4 to 5 years younger.
Yeah, younger.
Which is a lot closer than 10 years.
Yeah. But then also, still 4 to 5 years older than...
Violet.
Yeah, than Violet. So, I think she's, like, dead center in the middle, where it's 5 years apart from both.
Yeah. And, that's... such an appropriate... Like... And also, like, I'd be mad. Like, it'd probably... Such an overwhelming feeling of, oh my god, you're here, I'm excited...
I'd be furious.
All of these things, but
I'm so sorry.
Furious.
I'd be so mad. I also agree. I agree, because, like, when Violet...
But also, Violet was mad, too, at first, too. Like, she wasn't as mad as Mira, but she was mad.
I mean, we all know that, like, Violet isn't very much, like, a physical mad person. She's just like I'm mad, and now I'm going to go read 18 books because I'm mad. Where Mira is like, oh, I'm mad, I'm going to go, like, murder somebody. And I'm like, that's a valid feeling, girl, because I feel that every day of my life.
Yep.
That's so valid.
Yep. And
Yeah,
that
I
is,
understand that. The feminine rage just kind of like gets to you.
yep. And so that is, like we said, where the chapter ends, and we get to see Mira's reaction, or more of her reaction, and how this riot continues. But we're gonna do that next week. And so this is where our spoiler section is, or sorry, our spoiler free section is ending. We're going into our spoiler section. So if you have not read the book and you're reading along with us and you are like, hey, I don't want any spoilers, it was lovely having you. This is where I would stop, because we're going to be getting very heavy, deep diving into tons of spoilers and how these set of chapters affect the rest of the book and series. So if your spoilers are not your thing, I would stop here. If you have read the series or you don't care about spoilers, welcome. This is where they begin.
Welcome. And, as we know that we normally start our spoiler section with our beginning excerpts, as we do every week. Ashley?
I got you. So, let me bring this in front of me so I'm actually talking into my microphone. Half the palace, half barracks, but entirely a fortress, Ryerson House has never been breached by an army. It survived countless sieges and 3 full-out assaults before falling under the flame of the very dragons it ceased to serve. On Terrace History, a complete account, 3rd edition by Captain Fitzgibbons. So like you said, it's a fortress.
Yeah, it is. It is a fortress that has never been breached and kind of only fell to the dragon flame. And it kind of seems like it fell to the dragon flame that came from inside of the fortress.
Which I really do want. I need to get more history on... it's okay. The world is so interesting, and I want more of it. I want more of, like... I mean, obviously we get a lot of the political side, but I'm intrigued by... I want more.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? Like, I want the history and, like, how this really came to be. Why the fuck is the king doing it this way? I want that type of information.
I think we'll see that later on in the series.
Oh, 100%.
So,
if we don't, I would be so mad.
No, I think we're going to... I think we're definitely going to get it. I don't think...
He has to come back.
Well,
we've seen him once.
Yeah, I mean, we know that he's going to come back because of the last battle. Like, they're not going to... Because the rebellion is so prevalent, we know that it's the rebellion or Navarre that's going to win the battle.
Yeah, but I also think it's really interesting
because
how it really seems
but
like
you never know.
Melgren is running it. Like it's the
For
king
sure.
doesn't. Not that it doesn't seem like the king is running the country, but I mean it's openly said.
No, he is a figurehead. He's
a figurehead, and Melgren
figurehead.
Is handling like the press and everything like that.
Absolutely. And like, a lot of world governments are like that. And even like in like other series, it's very similar to that. I also think that, maybe, depending on the way it goes, like, they might get a like a little peace treaty that like Navarre and the rebellion like become allies to fight the Venin. We could definitely see that. I feel like there's
so many ways that it could go.
Exactly. So, excited to see that and excited to like, explore where that comes from. But I don't think that we're going to get any type of history on it unless she does it after the entire series is over.
Like a little like side
like a prequel or something.
A prequel or something,
And
but I do think it is interesting.
Even if we got a prequel, I would not want that to be the prequel.
No, I'd rather it be something completely different.
No,
and I think we can maybe get that information in like the beginning excerpts like we do. And so I'd be content with that.
Lilith and Asher's story. That's
God,
what I
so
want.
Do I.
That's what I want as a prequel. Really I don't really care about anything else.
And again, like fine. I know we haven't gotten much in this book yet, but even the bullshit, the love of my life was a scribe.
Ugh.
Like you could just tell. Stop. It's so good. You could tell the pain. You really could, and it's so.
I mean, because also I kind of agree.
I agree.
Because out of all of this, her mom does not seem the type to marry a weak person at all. So,
I'm so
like,
sorry if you hear dog barking in the background. My dog is trying to say hello to everybody listening.
she's trying really hard.
She's trying so hard, and she is failing. But actually, she's doing a great job at saying hello.
Yeah. But
I promise she's fine. She's just dramatic.
Yeah, so I think like if we were gonna see a prequel, that's the prequel that we would see.
I would love a Lilith and Asher. It'd be. I feel like I would like sob.
Yeah.
I'd be sobbing because if it. Oh my god, the scene when he dies.
I just really want to know. I want to know why they stayed. I want to know the reasoning and why they chose to stay.
I want to, because I think that was a fight. I think
absolutely.
It was a fight.
110%
and I want to see it.
That was a fight.
Oh god.
Are you okay?
I dropped my iPad.
Great.
But I do. I want to see it, and I want to live through it, and I want to cry with them. Because I feel like that was brutal. Like, I feel like that chapter, if we get a prequel of that, would be hard to read. Not like hard and like, but it would just be like this is sad.
Yeah, because it is. But,
it's so,
you know.
yeah. But I do love stories that touch you like that. Stop. Anyway. So our next beginning excerpt is, with all we've sacrificed for this kingdom, we better be able to defend it. The Journal of Warwick of Ludicrous, translated by Cadet Violet Soaringale.
That's valid. With all, like, everything that they've done, they want to be able to save the kingdom. They want to be able to have this.
That's the first 6.
Yeah. And also the fact that it was translated by Violet now into the common tongue is interesting to, you know, see that it's put here in this book this early on.
Yeah. And I also am intrigued by the first 6. I'm just intrigued. Like, it is she really did lay a lot of good groundwork. And so then something that we wanted to bring up in our spoiler section was the Iron Rain and the blood magic that's discussed in these in these set of chapters. How interesting that she kind of kept coming back to they were using blood magic to like do the wards, and we were discussing this and we were like, I wonder how that's gonna come back, because I feel like it's gonna come back.
Yeah, I also think like when talking about the first 6, there's always some sort of irregular type of magic happening, such as like, you know, blood magic, the Iron Rain happening. You know, earlier she asks Taryn like if he knows what Iron Rain is, and he's like, I don't know. The blood magic is interesting because, you know, they did try to set the wards earlier in this book, and I wonder if the blood magic portion is what they're missing. Ashley really wants Taryn to die, and so she constantly brings it up. She really wants him to die. She is like hardcore Taryn is dead. Like, she already thinks that Taryn is dead. Like, in terms of
I don't think
like
he's
the
dead
end
right
of
now,
Onyx
but I do
Storm.
think
She's like,
dead.
nah, he's dead.
I don't think he's dead.
He's dead. He's dead. He's so dead.
I don't want him to die because I do love him.
No, she wants him. She wants him to die because the amount of times that Ashley's like, he's dead.
I just think that it's because he's the Mento character, and the Mento character always dies. And then Violet and Darna can kind of like become like stronger because they do rely on Taryn a lot.
For sure, absolutely. I think that if he is going to die, I think that at this point it would be part of the blood magic ritual to create the wards. I think he would sacrifice himself to create the wards. I don't think that he's gonna die because Sigale left. Like, no, I know a lot of people are like, he's gonna die because the bond between him and Sigale broke, or this Sigale is so far away. And I'm like, first of all,
I do think the bond.
I also
broke.
do no. See, that's this is the other big thing that I don't think. I don't think that the bond even broke between Violet and Indarna. I understand that that's how they made it sound, that the bond was broken because it was like no longer in the forefront of her mind. But I think it's very similar to amnesia, where the memory doesn't go away. You just forgot it. It's not in the forefront of your mind. Because she could still grasp onto, like, the entrance of where the door was to Andarna. It was just locked. So
That's
she
true.
still knows where it is,
So,
and
like,
it's
maybe
just
the
locked.
bond is, like,
it's not
bent.
broken. It's just bent. It's manipulated in a different way so that it can, you know, not. It's like, yes, it's not as prevalent, but it's not broken. And that's the thing where I'm like, I don't think that bonds can be broken in this book. So unless she says the bond is shattered, I will not believe it. Because this whole thing about, like, the bond is broken, and Darna went in and broke the bond between Taryn and Sigale, I'm going to say, no, I think that's BS. Personally, I think that's BS. Because if the bond was broken between him and Sigale, I don't think he'd be in a coma. Period. I just don't think so. I don't believe it. And also, he's not in a coma because Sigale went away. He's in a coma because he literally just, like, I don't know, a 2-ton billion, like, pound castle just collapsed on him. Like, come on, people. Sorry. I know. I just got a little... I'm sorry. How would you feel if an entire castle was dropped on your fucking head? Do you think you would wake up right away from that? I don't think so. Just period. I don't think that you're going to be waking up from that anytime soon. So no, I also just don't think that bonds can be broken. I think that bonds can be manipulated. It's like the same thing with memory. Like, you can't erase the memory. It doesn't go away. Sorry, I dropped my phone. But, like, you can, like, you know, I do not believe that bonds can, like, necessarily be broken like that. I think they can be changed, shaped, and manipulated, but I don't think that they can be broken.
See, I could see that. Like, yeah. And I just think it's so interesting because I know I sent it to you last night. I sent you a screenshot, but I don't think you read it. And and so I'm going to say it now. I've been seeing a lot of theories about how, you mentioned memory wiping, and how because Onyx Storm was, in quotes, like, confusing. It was very jumpy, and is what people are saying. Like, it jumped around a lot, and people are rereading it. Like, they're kind of at the point where they're rereading it, and people think that Imogen was wiping her memory throughout the entire book, not just the ending. Eclipse agrees with me.
I don't agree.
I don't know if I agree, because I would need to reread the book. I have no opinion on this yet. No opinion.
I was like, I can't
we
say
need
anything.
To reread
I
it
have
first.
no opinion.
No opinion. But I thought it was a very interesting thing that I want to keep in mind going into Onyx Storm.
I don't think so, because that would paint Imogen as such a villain. And I don't think Imogen at all is the villain.
No,
yeah, I know. Sure, we love villains. Absolutely. Villains are cool. But Imogen is not a villain, and it is proven time and time again with the way that she supports the rebellion.
Yeah. And I know that we both think that Xaden and Violet are gonna fight, and then Violet's gonna kill Xaden. Violet's gonna die, and then they'll be happy. Like, their happy ending is when they're dead together.
Absolutely. It's gonna be Romeo and Juliet. That is
it's
what
gonna
it
be
is.
so good.
They're, they are star-crossed lovers, and they both die at the end. If it's not a Shakespearean tragedy, I don't want it.
Yeah, literally.
If this isn't a Shakespearean tragedy, I really don't want it. And we could see lovers to enemies with Sigale and Taryn. Like, that's that's what we could see.
Heartbreaking. It'll be so.
It'd be heartbreaking, but also
heartbreaking, but so good.
What a great twist!
Yeah,
how fun.
And another thing
how fun.
Because I think dragons. Oh, go ahead.
Because I think that if they did die, I don't think that Sigale would die.
No.
If Xaden died. I'm going to be honest about it. I don't think that she would.
Do you think Taryn would die if Violet died?
Yes.
I think he'd get so depressed.
Well, no, the reason why I say yes is because he openly said, I can't handle it. This is the last one. This is my last time. Yeah, this is the last writer that I will ever take. So, absolutely. I think that if Violet died, he will die with her because he can't do it. But I think that Sigale is I don't think that Sigale would die. Not that she doesn't love Xaden, because I do.
I just don't think she would. I don't, because she's younger too.
Yeah,
she's younger. And
Yeah, she's
she,
younger, but I also think that she is more ruthless. I think that like when it comes down to like the way that people describe Sigale, it's ruthless. It's she doesn't bend to dragon law. Because if you think about the way that they describe Sigale, it's ruthless. She doesn't listen to, dragon rule. She very much is out of the norm of
yeah.
certain things. And so I would not be surprised. And also it's like even if you look at Terran, like he did survive like losing a rider one time. And so
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if she could do it once more.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, because
also,
like technically she already did do it when
yeah.
Zayden's grandpa died. Like she already did. She already did survive a rider dying anyway.
Yeah. And it's also,
So
I'm pretty sure Taryn has had more writers than just Naolin.
yes, I mean obviously you've been alive for 100 fucking years. Like it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
Like
And
I would be very surprised if Neolin was the only one that he had before her.
yeah. But speaking of dragons, she openly says like, "Oh, she's so iridescent. She's so like to
Yeah.
Andarna,"
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, "Yeah." And it was like me and Kaylee were like, "How dumb! They're called irids because they're iridescent." And I was like, I think it's really funny that they pointed out in the book how Riddick's just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, they're called irids because they're iridescent," and everyone's like, "Yeah, you
Yeah. No
dumbass!
shit,
Like, did you
Sherlock.
not figure that out?"
Yeah.
And I was talking to him like, but that is such a thing that we would do in real life. Like we would
Yeah.
call it if that was us in real life, or like something similar, we would do
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. Like, oh look, it's iridescent. We'll just call them irids.
Yeah. I mean, it just it is what it is. It's also like I kind of love that for them. It is nice. But we just talking about like the odd type of magic, but then also like going into people's like alliances and the fact that Kaori did decide to stay. Not only did Kaori like decide to stay, but openly said, "I can't go. My place is with the Empyrean," is really
Yeah.
interesting because we know that Kaori has large ties to the revolution and has large ties to helping them and has been helping them for years.
Yeah.
Um,
And also like large ties to Brennan.
yeah,
Like he's one of
extremely
the
large
ones
ties.
that knew he was still like he helped him hide.
Mm-hmm.
He helped him
Absolutely.
hide. And so it's very interesting that he decided to stay, but I wonder if it's just to keep a cover and get more information while
Oh,
he's there.
absolutely.
I
Because
really
here's
think
the
that's why he's
thing
there.
is if you think about it, that could be like that is I think the only reason why he stayed is
He's the
to
man on the inside.
yeah, the man on the inside, but also like not only that is he's been working extremely hard these past years to make the rank that he is, to be as high up, to be as knowledgeable and as deeply ingrained into this site as possible. So it would make sense
Yeah.
why he's staying. And like not only that is like I'm sure that there's a part of them that loves the students, even the ones that stayed behind, and know that they need some sort of protection
Yeah.
because, we literally just saw like, Varish just try to like ignore every rule underneath the sun
Mhm.
and change the entire curriculum basically. And so I'm sure that Kiori was like somebody that stepped in and was like, "Oh, you can't strip a cadet like that. Like you have to have like just cause to do this.
Yep.
Like you've been abusing your power."
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are underlying, but I do think that they stayed because they are the man on the inside, so that they
Mhm.
continually have like a stream of information.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I also think that it's interesting to see that General Soren Gale did decide to tell them,
Mhm.
and or like she was ordered to tell people,
Yeah.
which is
Like she
really
really went she
interesting.
said I'm tired of not giving people a choice. Let me go give people a choice, but
Yeah.
they're going to be tried as traitors if they don't follow it. And so I do think
Hmm.
it's really interesting how she flopped. Like, she really was just like, okay, like, I can't keep hiding under this.
Yeah, I also think that like I also I don't know if it was fully her decision to tell them
Yeah.
or if, once again she was ordered to.
Mm-hmm.
If she was ordered to tell them. But I think that yes, she may have been ordered to tell them, but I think the "oh, you have an hour" was her. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense? Because I could not see everybody giving them an hour. I could not see, you know, them giving them an hour to leave, to
Yeah.
actually make a decision. I think that it was the here it is, and if you feel some type of way, like you're going to be tried as a traitor right away. And so I
Yeah.
do think like her giving them an hour to like escape and like to leave was her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
Um, but I also liked that we saw the very human side of her being like, hey, I don't know what's going on in terms of what's going to happen in the future, but this is the reality and this is everything that we've been hiding from you guys, which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy to think about that we are getting, you know, their
Yeah.
whole entire world is shattering. Like even Mira said it. She was like, I didn't believe you and there was no reason not to believe the propaganda that we've been fed our entire lives.
Yeah. I do, like you said, like seeing the human side of her. Because we have, like, the entire book, we really just know her as, like, she's the monster. She's the big bad. In quotes, not really the big bad, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that they have they had an interesting childhood with their mom, and they definitely have, all of them have very strained relationships with their mom, just because, she is a general. She did not treat her kids as kids. She treated
Yeah.
her kids as cadets.
Yep.
And it's very apparent to like watch and see that, but it's also just so, like Ashley said, nice to see that human side of her. It's nice to
Yeah.
see
And I
that
mean,
part of her. Because
and
the
also this was
humanity
this.
part,
Go ahead.
I was like, and the humanity part is something that she probably did have before she had kids.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was like her biggest reasoning. She was like, you don't know what you would do to protect your kids. You would never, like, you don't know the decisions that I've had to make since you were born. And I hate to be this bitch. I hate to be this bitch. But if she didn't have kids, I guarantee you she would have died in that revolution. Hands
Yeah.
down.
She would have.
And and that was very much laid out the way that she said, when you have kids you will understand the lengths that I went to protect you and to give you a life where you were shielded from all of the stuff that I was not shielded from.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I don't know, you can't really fault her for not necessarily being the best mom in terms of like a loving, caring person.
Yeah.
Also, like, that was just like not the situation that could have ever been provided due to like the environment that they were living in. Like, Violet openly said like they were basically raised at Bethskaya. They were raised
Yep.
around the school. They were raised around death. They were raised around,
And even if they weren't at Basgaiath, they were raised in outposts. They were
yeah, they were
jumping from
raised, yeah.
outpost to outpost to
Hmm.
outpost until she landed at Basgaiath.
Yeah,
And
and
even
then,
then, like, same thing.
yeah, it's the same thing. And also it's like to see somebody as like such an authority figure all of the time, like I know that they view their father as more of a human person because
Yeah.
he was there most of the time, but I I think that the father was much more ruthless than General Sorengale ever was.
I think
I
that
guarantee it.
he was hiding under her, but her kind of,
Oh, absolutely.
and
I
she was
think.
kind of being framed as, in quotes, like the bad parent.
Oh, absolutely. And I also think that
Because he was in the archives, he knew everything.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm like, listen, like the kids really love to be like, dad wasn't like this, dad was like this, and dad was like that. And I'm like, I don't think that you knew that man at all. I think that you knew your mom a lot more of like to the core of who she was than you ever did that man.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that he knew what he knew, the fact that, and he was like an open, willing participant of propaganda.
Yep.
And
And he
like,
also like,
he made part of those propaganda posters, and we know that. Like, there's no possible way that he didn't because of the level of scribe that he was.
yeah, and also
He was one of the
he,
top researchers for
yeah,
years. That's why they moved there, not because she got reassigned there, but because he was assigned to the archive there because they wanted him as the second-hand man.
yep. And
And I'm
also,
like,
he was never with his kids. His kids don't know
never.
him. They say it openly. Violet only knows him because she was in the scribe quadrant,
Yeah.
because she was trained to be a scribe. They don't know their dad.
Mhm. I agree, and I just think that it is nice to see, their one living parent get like a little bit of like a human factor to her,
Yep. And we see
which is
that
very
for the
nice.
rest of the book, which is fun. And we
Yeah.
see her breaking down her shell and eventually,
Hmm.
sacrificing herself for the cause
Yeah, which we
to
knew that,
to
like,
protect your kids still.
that's
Like
one of
it's
those
still
things
in
where it's like
character for her. When she dies, she's
yeah.
still in character. She's
And I was
protecting
not
her kids.
surprised. I was not
No,
surprised
neither
at
was I.
all. I was like,
She
oh no, this bitch gonna die.
literally,
This is immediately what she's gonna do.
it really is. But
Um,
it was so in character for her. Like this
mhm.
wasn't a, oh my
Yeah.
god, she's just dying and sacrificing herself. It's like, no, that's what she's been working for
Yeah.
the entire book.
Hmm.
The
Exactly.
entire
And
like the entire series, but specifically
yeah.
part 2 of this book.
And I know that, like, obviously Brennan and Violet, and it's interesting because Brennan and Violet were like shocked that their mom would do this, but Mira wasn't.
Yeah.
Mira was
Because
like,
Mira openly says she's closest to her mom. Her mom
yeah,
always looked to her and like
hmm,
made Violet compare her to Mira.
yeah,
Brennan was the kid that passed.
yeah,
Violet was the weak kid. Mira was
hmm.
the one that she knew was going to succeed, and that's how Violet viewed it. That's how Violet viewed it.
But
I
like
don't think her
that's a
mom saw them
very
that way.
yeah. I don't know.
I think it
I
depends
don't
because I
know.
think she knew Violet would get through the quadrant, though.
Yeah,
Kind
she
of.
did. She did. She just like wanted the little extra insurance the first year, which
Yeah,
so
because well, I mean,
valid.
Violet also is so convinced that her mom hates her, and we
Yeah.
know that's not true.
Yeah. We know that that is not true. It's just like it's hard to say because once again, like we don't because we're seeing it from Violet's POV. We only
Hmm.
know and we only see what Violet sees, and so it
And
is
that's why
it
it's
is quite
so
different.
nice to get the multiple POVs that we got at the
Hmm.
end of Onyx Storm. And I'm
I
so
know.
glad that she fought for those because I know that we've said it. The publishing company or her editor or whatever it was didn't want those to come out. She was like, no, like
Yeah.
you're writing in Violet's POV, you got to stick with it. And she was like, no, because Violet
Yeah.
is an oh my god, what's it called?
Is an
Unreliable narrator.
unreliable narrator,
Unreliable
which I
narrator.
agree with.
I agree so much.
Which is why I'm like, man, I don't think that it's going to happen like this, but I would love for this fourth book to be every other chapter of Violet, Zayden POVs. I
Or
would
other
love,
characters.
yeah, or other characters, but I would really love to do that,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
just to see how it all works together. But honestly, I feel like that kind of comes down to the end of our spoiler section.
I know that ended quite well. I feel like that was a good
Yeah,
good
like a nice little button. And so, we have to say, please like, follow, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for like coming and joining us in our little void and listening with us. And the last thing that we have to say to you is,
What did the void say to you?